my job as chief of staff was often the guy who had to say no. And I understand what it means, you know, the disappointment sometimes when you have to convey that message to people who do have good programs, but we have to prioritize. And we have to say, this is where we're going. We have to set our course and get to it, and not let these distractions get in the way, because we simply are on a path of destruction at this point. And so we've got to have that ability to stand up and say no, and to keep ourselves focused on the end game, which is to put our country back on a sound financial footing. I mean, and I've talked with others too, and just to kind of go in a little bit of a different direction. You know, we've got a situation now across the world that is also very destabilizing. In Afghanistan, for example, we know that we're now seeing a change in command there. And you realize that we have spent since September 11th, 2001, over $1 trillion just in Afghanistan. We've spent more money there than this healthcare bill will cost in this decade. Now, I believe that our first priority has got to be to give our troops everything that they possibly need. When we're asking them to go out in the field and make sacrifice, I don't care what it is, they're going to have our support, lock, stock, and barrel. But I also think that we have an obligation as policymakers to go to the administration and say, okay, what are our objectives today? How do we know when we will have succeeded? What are our goals here? Because otherwise we are committing ourselves to an endless war in a country that had a lot to do with the collapse of the Soviet Union, that was instrumental in undermining the British Empire when they tried the same sorts of things. And I'm just not sure how long we can be in Afghanistan simply to prop up the Karzai government. Now, I do believe that General Petraeus has got to be given the time necessary to develop a security force there that will allow for stability in Afghanistan. But he's got to meet some, he's got to meet some benchmarks along the way. We can't at the same time also say, well, gee, we're going to pull out in July 2001. Because we all know, we've seen that happen before, those guys will just go back into their caves and they'll take that 6-month hibernation, and as soon as we're gone, they'll come right back. And that stains the memory of all those brave men and women who've sacrificed if we do that. So we've now caught ourselves in a bit of a conundrum here. We've got to see it through, but, where does it end? So we need to press this administration. I'm also very concerned about what's going on in Iran. I was talking to a group last night. This was a group of investors and things that were talking about the future. The truth is that given the technology that's being developed in Iran today, they should have a fully capable nuclear weapon within 18 months, 2 years, maybe less than that. And they're moving along at a very rapid pace. All of our economic sanctions have had little effect. Obama's willingness to sit down and break bread with Ahmadinejad hasn't really gotten us too far. We now sort of ratchet up the sanctions. But that doesn't matter. The government there is in complete control. Okay? And they're willing to sacrifice their people, as we've all seen. But the possibility of the Israelis saying, wait a second, we can't let that happen. We're not going to allow for Iran, who's sworn to wipe us off the face of the earth. They have the weapons to do just that. They're going to keep in mind, keep in reserve the ability to strike. Now, they may not do it right away, but as soon as this election is over, I think that they're going to look long and hard in about 6 months as to what their options are. And if they do that, there will certainly be repercussions as Hamas and Hezbollah will probably then attack Israel. We're going to have a real challenge on our hands. But the alternative to let them develop in Iran a nuclear weapon is then forces all these other little states in the Gulf region to develop their nuclear weapons. Because you have the division between the Shia and the Sunni Muslims. Iran is governed by the Shia, and the Sunnis are almost as bad as the Christians. We're all infidels in their mind. And they're driven by this Islamo-fascist agenda. So we've got to take a look again. What is our policy there? And I would suggest that there may be another way in Iran. We've got to find ways to unleash the forces of the people of Iran. I don't want to say democracy because I don't want to dictate what that government's going to look like. But I can tell you, we couldn't get any worse than what we've got there today. A government hell-bent on taking the rest of the world down at their whim and on their timetable for their agenda. So I'm concerned about that. I think the United States is going to have to confront a very serious crisis, probably again, end of this year, beginning of next.
I heard something of a complete blockade. would really bring them to negotiations.
Well, I'm not sure I would agree with that. I mean, I think the Iranians said that this regime has demonstrated that they are willing to do whatever it takes to sustain their power. I mean, they have the worst record of human rights of any country in the world, particularly against women. You saw what happened when the people, the good people of Iran, tried to rise up after this election was stolen. You know, they sent out the Revolutionary Guards and their thugs, and they beat and shot and killed people in order to maintain their authority. But there are groups, there are organizations around the globe of Iranian people who are, if we would just get out of the way, because see what happens is we just keep wanting to think that we can have a dialogue with the mullahs and with Ahmadinejad. So we don't really do anything too seriously wrong to them because we want to keep the door open so they can come to the table and we can talk it out. I'd say the time for talking with these guys is over. We've got to recognize that there are other Iranian people committed to changing that government, and it's time for regime change. And I don't have any, I won't apologize for that, because this group is going to lead us into real trouble.
We aren't backing them.
Pardon me?
We aren't backing them.
We're not backing them, no, but you see, we're not doing enough to stop them, in my view, either. You know, we
don't seem to be backing the people that were up in arms.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We had a historic opportunity when the Green Revolution in Iran was ready to reach its apex after this stolen election. And where was Obama? Well, he was more concerned about the housing developments in Jerusalem than he was about the guy building the bomb in Tehran. And that, I think, is misplaced priority.
Do you think we would back Israel if Israel did strike Iran?
Well, I would. I mean, I can't speak for Barack Obama. I don't know what he's going to do from day to day. I mean, I think we have to. I don't think there's any alternative. But the signals they've been sending have been mixed. They've been mixed.
That would be a comment, I guess, more than a question. I'm very disappointed that we do not support Israel more. Israel is our only friend, really, in the Middle East. And if something were to happen in Iran, we have to depend on Israel to go forth. And obviously, it's going to make a huge mess. But they had no choice, and I certainly wouldn't trust any of the other nations that surround poor, pitiful Israel at all. So I'm very disappointed with the President of the United States. I don't know, but